Georgia, Georgia.
Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night live stream. I didn't mean to cut Ray Charles off like that, but I shouldn't even do that at all. We got to work on some stuff. We got to have a decent logo around here. And while we were doing that, in 30 seconds, we had 30 comments. So I'm way behind, and my up arrow still does not work. So one of these days, I'll do what y'all tell me and actually get myself a mouse. And I think I'm going to switch from a laptop to a desktop. I think that'd just be more efficient. So let's go through the room. Tell us how your week went. How'd you do, CW? You have a good week?
It was kind of a strange one, but it was okay. I mean, nobody got hurt. Nobody's in the hospital. Nothing happened like that. So everything's good that way. I got a couple more videos out. I got did a little more reloading. Got some good news on my knee. That's about it. You know, typical week. Some crappy weather. Got rained out most of the week. We got crazy snowstorm yesterday. I got up in the morning and it was a whiteout. I couldn't see 75 feet. It didn't amount to much, but everything got covered. And it was gone this morning when I got up. It was, I don't think it was warm today. It was kind of raw. 40s, low 40s. I was going to try and get to the range, but it never did happen. I know weather's coming in because my knee is acting up. But typical week. I did get some videos done. I got some extra stuff edited. So it was pretty good that way. What about you, Scotsman? How'd your week go?
Not too bad. Very busy week at work, so glad it's Friday. Good to be here. Good to see everyone out there. The side chat is blowing up. Yeah, Billy, what's going on, man?
Man, just goodness. I mean, the weather, we got kind of cold there for a while, but man, the sun popped out yesterday afternoon. It's nice today, so it just brings a smile on my face to enjoy that wonderful, nice spring weather. I love it. And that's about all. I was doing some videos and stuff. So Hot Pot, what you got, buddy? What you up to? What you got going this week?
Oh, I had a busy week at work too, man. We got so many orders in. We had one guy order 4 55-gallon barrels of 223 and one 2,800 bag of 9mm. So just still trying to get that process sorted out. Going to try to get some of it finished Monday and Tuesday, but then we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. We had a lot of rain here too, man. Flooded the backyard out. Lots of thunder, lots of lightning. It was kind of cool, actually. Got a little touch of snow in between there, but I live in Ohio. Wait 10 minutes. The weather will change. But I do have a couple really, really nice pieces come in that I need to do some videos on and get up and show. I'll be doing some little shorts on them and some community stuff. 2 very, very nice pew pew remote hole punchers. That's it for me. Walter, what you got there, buddy?
I had a good week too. It was rainy on and off all week. In fact, it rained most of the day here today, and kind of a cold front. It never broke 50, I don't think, here today. It was cold all day long. But I got to the range a couple of times. Went yesterday. In fact, it was raining. You know, you go tack up a paper target, and the time you get back to the shooting line, the target's thoroughly saturated. That wasn't a whole lot of fun, but we got it done. And we got some video out, a couple out today, and got a new firearm project going. Not the one that I posted today. I got another one going now too. So that'll show up, and planning out the next whatever's going to happen in Viejo land. It was a hard day at work for me. Boy, one day I didn't get up till like 6:30. Oh man, that was a tough
I
day
saw
right
that.
there.
Boy.
Hard day at the office. But other than that, I'm doing great, guys. And Dr. Zink, the Zinc Master himself, who is right down there. How was your week, bud?
Yeah, busy as all hell at work. We're just so busy right now, and which is good. And the wife seems to be okay from the last nosebleed battle. Doctors checked everything out. They say she looks all right. We'll find out. And another box of zinc arrived this week out of MeWe land. So, and it was actually all melted down already. So that was really nice. So it was a real true 40 pounds of zinc because there was no garbage with it. And got a new webcam. I'm going to hook that up in the basement. See how I like it to use it on some of those very few videos I make. But, other than that, I love Side Channel. Hope all's good out there. Oh, almost missed it. We had our earthquake today.
Well, thanks for being here, Andy. I appreciate it. Backman, how's your week?
Hey guys, yeah, it's been really, really busy. I haven't had a chance to put much content out lately because it's just so busy in work. Both trucks are flying. We're doing really well. And I'm halfway through putting a third truck on. We're taking over another territory and going to put another truck on. So I'm sort of up to here with work at the moment. And I wish I didn't have to be, but I need to expand the business a little bit. So that's what I'm up to there.
Yeah, you make hay while the sun's shining.
That's right. So I haven't had a chance to put much video out. So I'm going to try and get to the range over the weekend. I went last weekend. Right, I just went and took some rifles and I wanted to try the Garmin out. And I knew I wasn't going to be up there long, so I didn't take any cameras or nothing. I just wanted to get up there and have a play around with it. Yesterday here, it was beautiful, sunny, 80 degrees. And today it's been 60 degrees and it's just started raining. I can hear the rain outside. So it's been cold all day and the rain finally came in. But yeah, I don't mind a bit of rain. It's good to see it. So yeah, and thanks for the invite, guys. Like I said, I haven't been on for a while. It's been tough with work, but I'm glad to be on here. So over to you, Pat.
Well, as far as what I've been up to, just busy resetting codes at the silos for all the missiles. I got to do that once a week. That way the Russians don't hack it and everything. But no, in all seriousness, just been really busy getting ready to hit the field, spraying, fertilizing, getting ready to start planting here in about the next 3 weeks or so. Finishing up calving. And did the unboxing on the Panzer behind me, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, a video will be soon coming out on that. I'm really excited about that one. I like the initial, the reticle and everything in there. It's really coming up clear when I bring the rifle up and everything. It's just boom right there. I don't know if I just got it set to the perfect distance from my eye, just where I throw it up, but it feels pretty natural so far. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, man, I just busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. So, yep, that's what I've been up to. We'll pass it on.
We're glad you could make it, and just in the nick of time, there's Mr. Mark Thomas. How you doing, bud? How was your week?
Hello. My week was pretty darn good. Sorry I'm a little bit late. My son and I were out to dinner and just got back, but here I am.
Just in time.
Just in time.
How was your week?
Awesome.
Good. Is Pat talking?
Saw your video. No, it's your turn. We saw your
Oh.
video. I saw your video.
I got
Yep.
a
Hadn't
couple
had a
of good.
video since Easter there. I saw that one you had yesterday.
Yeah. I picked up that Black Hawk and 45 Colt. It's been calling to me for over a month. I tried not to, but I just had to, and I don't regret it a bit. It's a beautiful revolver. It's in real good shape.
I've often batted around the idea of a stainless steel 5-inch 45 Colt. Don't really have a need for it. I got a number of other ones that are blued that are doing the same darn thing, but a stainless one is one I've never had a stainless single action. Well, that's not true. I got the 32s, but I mean a big bore, a 45. I'd like to have that. That 5.5 is just a aesthetically pleasing looking. I think it's the prettiest barrel length.
Yeah, and I think it'll be pretty comfortable to carry, whether it's in the woods or wherever I want to.
I really like Ruger Blackhawks, man. They're pretty cool. So now that everybody's told us how their week is, we want to flip over to the Scotsman. He's got a topic idea for the night, and I'm going to let him introduce it and get us started with it. So I think that'd be cool.
Well, fellas, I thought we'd talk about things we do as reloaders, casters, as hunters, as just in the general firearms community, things we do that may or may not make a difference. Little quirks and things that we may have.
I got lots of them.
What would you consider a quirk? That's the first question.
unique to you, different, something that may not be required or people think it's needed, but something you do anyway.
Like taking your thumb, wetting your thumb and wetting your front sight before you shoot every time?
No, man, that works.
Like buying red magic markers instead of black because they're better. It makes no difference to anybody but you.
Biggest one I can think of is spit shining your brass. There's I like to work with clean brass, but when I first started reloading, all we did was wipe it off with a rag, and the efforts that I go through now to have that brass perfectly clean, it's not necessary. It's good. It's better in some cases to have it clean, but most of the time you wipe it out and take the little brush to the primer pocket and let it go for the kind of shooting that I'm doing. But I just like working with clean brass, so I do it anyway. But I don't think it's really necessary.
I've heard it said for rifle, particularly bottleneck rifle, it's probably better if it's not as clean as it kind of slides in there before it blows out. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Walter's just trying to get his fingerprints off of it.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah, that would be very important.
Remember, police your brass.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got something funny when during deer hunting or even when I'm coyote hunting. And I saw this on a Western a long time ago, and I can't even remember what show it was or what movie it was. But I'll take the first 2 bullets, take my glasses off, right there in the crease of my nose, and I'll wipe the bullet on my nose, one on each side. And those are the first 2 bullets that are going to be shot. And I don't know why I saw that in an old Western one time, and I was just like, I wonder if that really works. And I don't know if it does or not. What's that?
Said grease them up.
Yep. And that's what I thought, well, I got enough grease right there, and I just and those are the first 2 on top.
I remember as a little kid, my grandfather always telling me that's what you do with the ferrules on your fishing rod. You wipe them on the crease of your nose there to put a little bit of lubrication on them before you put them together. I was a little kid when he told me that, and I've never forgotten it. When they had metal ferrules and bamboo rods, and I'm dating myself a little, but it was a long time ago.
You may be dating yourself, but those are worth big bucks now.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Well, I guess along that line, I'll pile on with Pat. Been hunting with that single shot 308 for many years now, and I carry four shells. That's it. One that's in the gun while I'm hunting, and 3 in my pocket. That's all.
Chapin.
Mm.
See what Chapin said?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to ban him.
And now I hide a dozen shells in my beard.
Uh-oh. We have a sighting already.
Oh man,
Ooh.
really? He's in here early.
And 3, 2, 1.
Mario.
I always try to make it a very strong habit, especially when I'm out hunting or whatever, to always set my beer down before I take my shot, because that can end up bad.
Is that the pool shot or the shot of whiskey?
Both.
Nice.
Sometimes things make you wonder, like hunting, especially bow hunting and all that, I'd make sure, wash my clothes with like a non-smelling detergent, and then like let them hang up outside, just all the stuff you go through as a hunting. And then there's been a few times that like I just went to check a spot. I might have like cologne on or whatever and see a deer. So I'm like, sometimes I think, well, I wonder how much that really matters. Sometimes, back when I was younger, I'm like, that.
I have a good friend who always showers, aftershave, cologne. He's shot deer in the little tassel shoes with a tie on. He always does. And another thing he always does is he doesn't walk out of sight of the car, and he always comes late. And he shoots deer every year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
there's that.
I like to, the night before it all starts, the hunt, you set everything up, you camp in, you have a bit of food, and you sit down and have a beer. And I always crack a beer and tip it on the ground. And that's the one for the ground before we go hunting. We always tip one beer on the ground.
There you go.
I don't know if it makes any difference, but we've done it for years.
Hey, can't mess with tradition.
That's right.
One more weird, I don't know if it's quirky or anything, but if I've got a brand new pair of hunting boots, I will take those and I will, instead of pulling them out of the box and trying to treat them or anything, my treatment is I walk out into my cattle lot and I wear them for 2 days. If I'm working cows or something like that, just to get that manufacturer smell off of them. And I make sure that I walk up and especially the bottoms, I make sure they get coated and I don't clean them off. They come back to the house and they sit. So I don't know. I've never been busted doing that before. So when I've been out coyote hunting or deer hunting or any kind of hunting. So whether it works or not, I don't know, but it's just an easy way to get that manufacturer smell off, I guess. So
I got so many things I do when I'm going hunting, and probably none of it makes any difference. I think the key is to be upwind of where you think the deer's going to be, and then it don't much matter what you do. I mean, I wash my clothes in that scent-free stuff. I take a shower with the scent-free soap and all of that, and all of that. I have a bottle in my backpack that I use to pee in, and all this stuff. And then you got guys that go out there wearing blue jeans, smoking a cigar, drinking coffee, get down out of their stand and take a dump right at the foot of the stand, climb back up there and kill the biggest deer you ever seen in your life. What? Who knows?
I got a friend that always pees at the foot of his deer stand every year. He swears up and down that it brings curiosity. And he does it. He said he does it all the time. I mean, I don't know.
Ozark Spirit. He wears Old Spice and drinks coffee. There's
I,
only
I
been
drink. I bring a thermos of coffee.
I have. I don't do that regular.
Yeah, I bring
So-
a thermos of coffee, but I don't leave it open. I open it. I take a drink, and I close the top back up. It's got a big clip on it, and it hangs right on the rail of the stand. But I've done that forever. I'm mine. The place I've been in the last 5 years or so, I'm kind of spoiled. I don't need to worry about smells or anything because it's I'm in sight of a big apple orchard processing where they make the donuts, the apple cider donuts. They make apple press cider. So there's all kinds of smells. There's a big parking lot of cars. There's people smoking and burping and farting and everything down in there, and it's blows right across our property. The guy that has the property is always out there on a machine. He's got two college kids. When they're home, they're riding the machines. They're out there in the woods. So the deer are used to man smells, people being in the woods, people be walking around. So I don't need to be really super conscious. I do the same as Jamie. I shower before every hunt. I wash my clothes about a month before the season. I put it in the side shed here. About a month before the season with the scent-free soaps. And then I hang them outside for about a week. And then I put them in a great big garbage bag, leaf bag, with hemlock boughs and laurel and stuff that I take off the property the last time we're on it. Throw that in the bag, and then that bag gets sealed up and it goes in my truck. My truck has no smells in it, and it just sits there until I get dressed and go. And right down to the long johns or whatever, they're all washed in the no scent soap, and I put on the final layers from my truck at the woods, at the place I'm walking out to my stand. So I'm conscious of the smells, but I don't go crazy overboard. I think if you hunted in some places where there is no man, you're walking 10 miles out, hiking over hill and dale, I think your smells are going to make a much bigger difference to those deer than if you're hunting urban areas. They're smelling car exhaust. They're listening to the highway. They're people walking through the woods with their dogs or hiking or biking or motorcycling, or these deer are used to seeing man, and they're not as bothered by those smells. I think that's the reason that we see such a big disparity in the reasons for the results of smoking cigars and such we're talking about.
Well,
Yeah,
let me
and
ask- go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I also think that those deer you're talking about, you walking back 10 miles to get to them, making a bigger difference. I think the way you smell after you walk that far is going to impact them too. And look, let's face it, guys. A deer is not smart enough to smell pee and know what kind of pee it is. Okay, they don't have that reasoning capability. But yeah, they know it's not theirs, and that's scary enough. Go ahead, Hillbilly. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, like we've had times where like we'd pull out there before dark, and get parked and get out of the rig, and then hear a big buck, 50 feet from us snort and run over the hill after we got parked, got out of the rig, and all that stuff. But where we hunt, we got quite a few. I think it's like 300 some acres. And we got there, we got trails all over there for 4-wheelers, 4-wheel drives and all that. And so, like, we go out there ride all the time, where we can go down to the creek and the lake and all that stuff. And we see deer all the time. They're used to it. But this has happened to us a lot that, like, we try to make a rule, okay, no driving, out there, except for right in the gate where we set up deer camp, like 3 days before, the start of gun season. And like we'd be driving around and like see deer every, here and there, and it's like, okay, yeah, man, we're gonna hunt there or whatever. And like a lot of times they just stand there and watch us, But then opening day, you get out there in that spot and you don't see nothing. I almost think sometimes when stuff changes like that, they get a little curious. Like, okay, we're used to these 4-wheelers or trucks going by, and now we ain't heard nothing. I don't know. Is that just me, or does that happen to anybody else?
No, it's the same. We see the same thing. What was it? What was the movie? Jeremiah Johnson. They were hunting elk on the horses, and they said he says to him, he says, an elk don't know how many legs a deer have, a horse has.
I remember that.
Yep.
They can't count anyway. Yeah, Ozark brought up a good point, and then we're going to get, if I can find it.
Go through the room.
Bow hunter, dang it. I think a lot of the stuff that he meant to put bow hunter on there. He says, I think bow hunters get too wrapped up in the now hunter mentality when it comes to scent. I think that advertising affects the way we think about what we have to do as hunters, and particularly not so much as reloaders or bullet casters. We just
100%. Look at the designer camouflage we have now. I've seen so many questions about on forums hunting season about what camouflage should I wear. Do you think we didn't kill any animals to feed ourselves before there was camouflage? I mean, come on.
And they were wearing buckskins.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
maybe don't wear the chartreuse and the hot pink.
Look at all these hunting shows and stuff that are out there. You'll get 5 or 10 minutes of video, then you get 5 minutes of advertisements, then you get back in the video, then you get another 5 minutes of advertisements. It's just constantly pumping that stuff out.
Let's look at it this way, Scotsman, too. These hunting shows, they're not only advertising hunting products, and the guys that are out there hunting are telling you, well, I'm using this gun and this cartridge and ammo from this company, and my it's almost like a NASCAR interview, You know what I mean? Of the list of stuff they're using. But almost invariably, what you see on those hunting shows are a guy going out to a guided hunt that would cost any one of us thousands of dollars to do. And, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Go ahead, go for it. But, yeah, they are almost guaranteed to kill that deer. And reason being is that outfitter is trying to get bookings from hosting that guy. In other words, we're going to have David Blanton come out here and kill a big buck, and show it on Real Tree Outdoors, and we're going to get a bunch of people wanting to come out here. Y'all know it's so. Y'all watched enough of them to see there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Our 6-shooter Texan, hey buddy. So, if I may be inquisitive, because inquisitive minds want to know, Scotsman, what exactly were you doing, and what made you think of this topic?
Well, I got a few different projects going on right now. One from 6-shooter Texan showed up. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I just got a bunch of different things going on. It just kind of came to my mind about what are some of the things that we do that may or may not make differences, and how other people do things. Like
Okay, I
scopes,
got it.
I don't set up a scope like most people set up a scope. I do it completely different. I don't use the lineups. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't think any of that is really necessary. But I do things quite a bit different than most.
I don't do that either. I would like to invest in one of those really nice systems, but I haven't yet, and I don't know that it's making that big of a difference.
Well, those things came out in a time when you had a lot more gunsmiths drilling and tapping, sporterizing rifles and doing different things like that, and checking your alignment on your scope bases and things. It made a lot more sense at that time. You know, it made a bigger difference. Today, with the machinery and machining techniques, and you know, a lot of one-piece bases and things, so alignments are. It just, you don't find the problem as much, but it's still relevant, just not as much as it was, say, 20, 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago.
Gossman probably like rubs his beard every time before he takes a shot, I imagine. Or
Well, you got to get it out the way, man, before you don't want to get it pinched up or anything.
Yeah, that stock I have on my 6.5 Creedmoor, it grabs my beard.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It is.
Yep.
That's undoubtedly the only thing I do not like about those Ruger Americans, those Magpul Hunter stocks. Those things are grippy, and they will yank on your beard if you have any. So, how many separate their pistol brass into head stamps? Does anybody like put all your Remingtons together and all your Winchesters together for semi-auto pistols?
Nope.
As much as I go through, no.
I'll keep new brass separate, but once it's been fired a few times, no, it doesn't. There's not enough difference.
I've never bought new brass. All I have is range pickup, and I went through the painstaking 223 round and separating by head stamps and whatnot, and trying to load them separately. And you know what? Didn't make a difference. Not at 100-yard, 200-yard shooting, so it was a waste of time.
Yeah, I do it with the rifles. I buy new brass and I'll clock up to probably about 3 or 4 shootings, and then it goes into the community bucket, and then it becomes whatever it is. And if I need or feel I need something better, I'll buy new, and then it'll start all over again. It'll shoot 2, 3, 4 times, and then it becomes community brass, and it just goes into it gets recycled, thrown away, or just loaded for practice fun.
So we got some responses to this. Let me get over here in the side chat.
Most of the time at the distances and load levels that I'm shooting at, head stamp's not going to make much difference, if any. And the brass that I have for my bigger bore revolvers, the 44s and the 45 Colts and the 44 WCF, those guys, that's all Starline brass that I bought new not too long ago. And that's stuff that I don't pick up at the range anyway, so it stays pre-sorted, I guess. There's no point in me going through and, because I don't pick that stuff up at the range. It all started with me and will end with me. This 45 ACP series that I've got going on, I sorted that all out. just to keep everything as consistent as I could for that particular video series. But normally I wouldn't sort 45 ACP brass either. You know, I keep track of how many times I've shot it. When it starts getting up past 10, 15 times, I start thinking about swapping it out. It starts getting short after a while.
That's a good point. You know, I will separate military brass and I will look for small and large primers. So I may not be sorting, but I am, you know, looking at every piece.
Kind of. Yeah. Throw the Hornady stuff out. The Hornady 44 stuff. If you ever find that, I don't use it, but I've never found more in a few cases here or there. But
yeah, that's
that
make a good point. I like Hornady brass. I don't have a problem with it, but you know, some of the calibers you have to be aware with Hornady because the FTX bullets on a few of the calibers are require longer bullets, so the brass is shorter to keep the overall length to work. And the big one everybody knows about is the 4570. Doesn't make it useless, doesn't make it, you know, anything but a shorter case. But some people are worried about that if they're, you know, set up for a certain length and they pull out a Hornady and it's shorter. So they'll segregate the Hornady shorter brass.
I found that Hornady a lot are short in 300 blackout range pickup.
Really?
Yeah, all the Hornadys I picked up are, well, they're not too short, but they're shorter than where I want them. You know, and it's like, I shot one 4 times and it still didn't reach the length. So, you know, it's, I've stuck with the 300 blackout. I've stayed with my homemade brass. 90% of it is made out of LC brass, all different year head stamps. No issues whatsoever.
Yeah, the only really bad thing that I've ran into so far is when I started reloading for my old Mosin that I converted into a hunting rifle. When I was doing a bunch of test loads and stuff, you know, and I was only doing 5 at a time, bringing it back down, reloading it, was the PPU versus the cellar below stuff. And I don't know if it was just different case slots or what, but I could get a lot more mileage out of the cellar below stuff than I could the PPU brass coming out of that Mosin. And it just seemed like the cellar below was a little bit more pliable, easier coming at, you know, reforming it and everything. And it never seemed like I had to do too much to it. But that PPU stuff, after about 3 or 4 firings, you might as well just scrap it. So
yeah, brass is not brass. Brass is it's an alloy. So it's different from all different manufacturers.
Yep.
Absolutely different. I mean, anybody who's more of or fancies himself more a precision rifle shooter knows or learns pretty quick that, you know, there's a reason that there's Lapua brass and Peterson brass and these premium brass companies, because it can make a difference. And it's what the brass is made, how the brass is made. I was just annealing some 358s, and about half of my 358s are reformed 338 Winchester, because it's pretty close. You have to fire form it, but it's pretty close. And the other half is Norma brass. And when I was annealing it, the Norma brass gave me beautiful colors, just like you expect to see on annealed brass. You know, you pick up anybody's commercially annealed brass, you see that nice oil on water, you know, rainbow ring. The Winchester brass was just discolored. Just discolored. That's all it was. There was no rainbow effect. There was no nothing. And it was annealed by me exactly the same, one after the other. Just fished them out of a bucket and ran them through the flame. So the only reason for that is the consistency of that brass, the ingredients of that brass.
yeah, and one thing being kind of a amateur metallurgist from welding and everything, man, some of that alloy does not flow well together. And when you get inconsistencies on metal like that, and you try to heat it up, warm it up, bend it, you know, whatever, what have you on that, man, if you don't get that nice effect through metal on there. You know there's impurities in it. It's not as good a quality. I mean, it's not a consistent form of alloy going through there. So I completely agree with the CW on that, because just from everything from welding and torching and bending tubes and everything, because alloys are just different. It just all depends on how much time they take with it to get the impurities and stuff out of it. It makes a difference.
Absolutely. It's the formula. It's absolutely their formula. I mean, normal always used to be really good brass. And then this is before Lapua was such a thing. And nowadays everybody seems to think Lapua is, the best of the top tier. But there's some other really good brass makers.
So I seen a question a while ago. Somebody asked if do you trim pistol brass?
Yeah, and I think for some of the bigger bore stuff, like say if you're going to be shooting a lot of 357 Magnum or 44 Special, 44 Magnum, 45 Colt, those type things, if you've got some range brass or if you've got brand new brass, whatever, if you're going to try to make that brass last, I think it's a good idea to trim it all to the same length like we've seen Walter do, but only to aid in your crimp and make sure that the crimp is exactly the same every single time.
Yep. Yeah, I do a 38 brass and 357. Everything picked up, gets sized and trimmed. The stuff that I've already shot, I also put it through the trim just in case it grew a little bit. But, most of the time it's real quick, it's not trimming anything, so you're in and you're out, but range brass, definitely. Everything needs to be in the pistol brass, especially straight wall. You need to trim it to, keep them all the same. Otherwise, like you said, the crimp's going to be in different places.
I haven't started trimming my pistol brass yet, but I do sort it out now. I buy a lot of Starline brass, so all the stuff that I do for my personal stuff is all Starline brass. And if anybody wants to come shooting with me, or family or friends want to go out, I keep some bucket loads of just range brass on the floor, and I'll just throw some rounds together using that stuff. And I don't care if I lose it or not, because it's just range brass. But my Starline brass, I started when I go shooting now. I got a brass catcher. I made like a brass catcher that mounts onto a tripod, and I try and catch all my brass. So I got all Starline brass now, nearly on all my pistol rounds, and I try and catch it all so I can reuse it. And I bought it all new, so I know it's all the same. Bit OCD probably, but just the way I went with mine.
Anytime, I've said it 100 times in all my videos and such, and that consistency is key to accuracy. Most of the time you only see this in rifle, where most of the pistol stuff it's just as important, but pistol is generally shot at much shorter ranges where you don't see the difference as plainly. If you're going to be shooting at 25 yards, 15 feet, as opposed to say 1,000 yards, just think of the variables differences. A little bit of a discrepancy at 10 feet is what? You're never going to see it. But that little discrepancy at 1,000 yards could be feet. It could be a lot. So, watching the number of firings of your brass, it kind of falls back to the annealing. Annealing brings it back almost to new, but at a point, you can only do it so many times. Guys have talked about neck sizing. Oh, I just neck size my brass. I don't fully resize because it's working the brass more. You come to a point where you're going to need to full length resize based on the pressures you're running of that cartridge. You're going to get more firings from a lower pressure, but less firings from a higher pressure. At some point, that brass is no longer going to close in the gun. So you're going to have to full length resize, and that's working the brass more. So watching the number of firings for ultimate precision is a real thing.
Yeah, well, if you got like me, most of my stuff is just 100 yard, not even 100 yards anymore. 50 yards is the I shoot at the most because the wife is shooting 22 next to me and stuff. Every now and then I move over to the other side, other range, but the 50 yards, and again, I'm shooting in most cases 357, 38, 9 millimeter. Is the higher volume rounds that I'm shooting at 50 yards out of a rifle. Pistol, it's 25, 30 feet or so, and 50 feet, and the same thing. The accuracy is part of is more you. Of course, you need properly loaded bullets. You go out by store bought, you can be all over the place, but once you find your loads and whatnot. But if you go from 100 yards to 200 yards, everything changes. So if you're not shooting the distance, some of the practices in reloading are not as critical. But I think just general overall length of cartridge of brass, I should say, not of a loaded bullet, is an important factor because if you're long and short, your crimp is in different places. So each load you're shooting is really different.
In a perfect world, obviously it's not the case, but in a perfect world, let's just say you're shooting your 308 at 100 yards, and you're shooting a 1-inch group. So bullets coming out of a 308 bore, and it's printing 1 inch. Well, at 200 yards, it's 2 inches. 300 yards is 3 inches. 400 yards is 4 inches. Again, perfect world. Nothing else acting against anything.
Right.
Well, you got there with the sum total of your component. As those components change, what do you expect? Your group's going to change. It's just the way it is. Nothing else. Everything. There's wear. There's stretching. There's heating and cooling of the brass. There's all different variables that play a part, very small, but added up, sum total, and then combined with distance, they really show. They really, really show.
All right, we got to go through the side chat. What we're going to type. Walter.
Brass.
Bueller. All right, we're going to type in brass. Everybody type in brass, and we'll call your name out on TV. How about that? And bear with me because I'll have to scroll up because my up arrow don't work. The down arrow works good.
First world
Turn your
problems.
computer
Jamie.
over.
First world problems. First world problems.
That dang up arrow.
I'm telling y'all what's the truth. So we got Walter, of course, first. Viejo was in the panel and the side chat. MacMan is too. There's Bama Dad reloading from the hot pot. Tim S. Colt 1927. Andy 79Z28 is in the panel and the side chat. Edward Petty. Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy. Barbie Barlow, Info Bro, Dale Pogue, Duffer 426. Pat in the Bunkers in the panel. Bald and Curious. I wanted to see what he said about 40. Reloader 762, Ashley A, Ocean 374, buddy. It is great to see you out there in the side chat. We got to have you on the panel soon. There's Harm, Corners and Doors, Tactical Rabbit 308, Hillbilly Up, Bald and Curious. Y'all too. We got to get them together. There's William C. Chapin's out there. GGW Outdoors. Hey, brother. Ozark Spirit. Oh, one guy. Glenn Davis. Andre D'Angelo. William C. Chapin again. Kyle. CW Longshot's on the panel and in the side chat. Glenn Davis, Kerry Crouch. Hey, buddy. I hope I said your name right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Colt. Colt, 1927. Wayno House 74. I hope I said that correct as well. Good to see you out there. I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome in here. And Glenn Davis again. Shut up, Tim. That works, you rascal, you. The wrong up and down arrow. Daniel got as my judges out there, too. I know. What, Daniel? What I do wrong? He said Jamie 3 times. I know I've done something wrong.
He's just trying to make you scroll up.
Yeah, that's like your dad saying, Jamie, Jamie, Jamie.
You knew you were in trouble then, right?
I tell you when I knew I was in trouble.
You get the middle name.
Get the middle name and the suffix. Like James Slay Howard Jr. I know I'm in trouble. That was my mom. Dad never did that to me. Dad never did that to me, but my mom did, and my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Man,
my aunts and my older cousins, the girls, would always give us that. All us kids, going back 40, 50 years.
Well, we
Yeah,
don't
my-
have much time left before Gene's segment, What's Hot Pot Got, but for the guys that don't reload or don't hunt or whatever, they go to the range. What are some quirks that we have when we go to the range that probably don't make a whole lot of difference?
How about the guy standing next to you shooting a howitzer?
That's always pleasant.
Well, you wouldn't like me then with my short barrel nosing then.
With a muzzle brake on it.
Yeah, that throws flames about 3 foot on each direction.
Well, we've seen it, Jamie. We've seen people with 300 wing mag, 100-yard range, thinking going for small group sizes and all the rest of it. When that thing, we all know that thing's not even touched anywhere near where it can go yet.
Abigail, there's an old joke that I think Ozark told me first. I thought my name was Damn It till I was in high school.
Get over here, damn it.
Oh man, yeah. I can relate.
We had a dog named Damn It, except when company was around, then his name was Dynamite, but he never knew the difference, I don't think. But
My aunt had a cat that would come to scat you bit, because she was always in something and she would yell at her, scat you beat, and the cat would only come when she would call it scat you beat. I just remembered.
That's right, Timothy.
Hilarious.
I heard a advertisement for a podcast today, and it was a guy who it's called Urban Politics, I think is the name of it. And of course, he's a African American gentleman, and he's gearing to that audience. And he says, "Y'all don't know what a filibuster is?" He said, "Let me tell y'all. If y'all had a grandmother or a mother that didn't take no crap off of you, you are a filibuster. Because when they do that thing, when they call out all of your names and you know that it's butt whooping time and there ain't nothing you can say or do that's going to get you out of it, you start stalling and talking and talking and stalling, which is exactly what a filibuster is, only it's in Congress.
That is so dang true.
I know.
What's the definition of a Congress?
Gaggle of geese or something like that. Monkeys?
Group of monkeys.
Group of monkeys, yeah.
Congress is the Senate and the House of Representatives. It's a collective term for both houses, I think. Now you can expand on that, and
AKA a troop of monkeys.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And have you ever noticed that, we talk bad about, and we don't talk politics, so I won't go any deeper in that. It's like they're all ought to be in prison except for yours. You ever notice that? Like some of these guys, I don't know how they've been up there 35 and 40 years. Anyway,
I know, and it's there's nothing new about that too. I remember reading a quote from Mark Twain years and years ago, and he says, "Suppose you're an idiot, then suppose you're in Congress." But then I repeat myself.
Gene, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. It's time for What's Hot Pot Got.
Hot Pot picked something out of off the table the other day, and I thought I'd share this with you. This is, get that to focus in, a 9.3 by 62. The 9.3 by 62, also known as the 9.3 by 62 millimeter Mauser, is a rimless, bottlenecked rifle cartridge designed in Germany in 1905 by gunmaker Otto Bach. It's suitable for hunting medium to large game animals in Africa, Asia, Europe, and North America. The place of origin is the German Empire. That sounds kind of weird to say, don't it? But it is. Otto Bach, 1905, and it's produced 1905 to present. It does use a .366 caliber. The bullet type that's used for this is a 230 grain up to a 286, and the velocity goes from 2641 down to 2362 with the larger grain. Nice little cartridge there. Boy, that'll make your powder go away quick, won't it? Especially with today's prices.
So, what's the length of a 30-06 case?
About 63 millimeter.
Yeah.
That's a nice honking cartridge. All those Mauser cartridges are just, powder suckers. If you're going to reload for these, man, you really need it. But I do have a big thank you to everybody out there that ordered some of those chamber flags. Because my rep Sherry, I messaged her about it, about doing the little giveaway with it. She went back and watched the giveaway, and here shortly, she is going to be offering a discount code on some of the cleaning towels, those microfiber towels.
Oh,
and
nice.
she's going to offer, and she's going to give 2 packs away. She's just got to clear everything, get the discount code set up, and so on a future show here shortly, it'll probably be in a week or two. Going to be doing a little giveaway from Zokim. So she greatly appreciates the purchases. So thank you, everybody out there that did that. And after this little episode, I'm going to be going away because I have RO class Saturday and Sunday. And I've got to be there at 7:45 in the morning, and it's a 2-hour drive for me. So I'm going to be getting up way before dawn does. So I'm not going to get to see dawn's crack until it's in my eyes. I'm
That's a
driving.
sobering thought.
I'm driving east. But I want to throw this in. You said about the range. Let's see. Quirks at the range. When I go to the range, when I pack up to go, everything has to be in the trunk and in the back seat in a specific order. Camera bag's got to be here. My range bag here. There's hot shots here. Little accessory, handy dandy, medical, tarp, all that other stuff. Bags got to be in this corner. My cart's got to be up in front. It's got to be that way. If it's not, I tear it apart and put it back together again. So I tend not to let her pack the trunk up because I just quirky like that. But with that being said, thank you very much for joining me tonight for What's Hot Pot Got. I hope everybody has a great, blessed weekend.
Yay. Thank you so much, Gene. That was
Are
great.
you leaving us, Gene? I hope you have a good time tomorrow.
I'm going to be sitting in a classroom all day tomorrow, and then all day Sunday from 8 o'clock on, I'll be out on the range setting up stages, and we're going to run each other and critique what we're doing so we can learn proper etiquette for being a range officer.
Oh, good.
Now, I've been around it for a long time. So, and I've been running the tablet. I've been running the timer at local matches. But
yeah, that's a tough job.
Well, also as an RO running a match, you don't pay any fees to shoot.
Cool. Yeah.
Win-win. Spend a couple days with some already friends of mine that are taking the class too, and get to go to the matches and just show up and shoot. You know, run a timer or run a score tablet, like I'm doing anyways. Now I can DQ you though.
That's a long DQ from out here. Talk about the long arm of the law.
I'll send it next day. You're a little pricey, but I'll get it done. But everybody have a great evening. Thanks, Side Chat, for joining us tonight. We will see you again shortly. And to everyone out there, always remember to keep blowing that smoke.
Peace, brother. Have a good weekend.
Good night, Gene.
Love all y'all.
Good night,
Love you
Gene.
guys.
Good night, Gene.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All
I'll
right.
have to ask him a question next week since he disappeared. So
Ask him next week. Speaking of quirks at the range, I don't know if this is a quirk or not, but what Gene was talking about, and plus the topic of the evening and quirky things that you do, and it may not be quirky, but you know, being a range safety officer or an RO or whatever your local range terminology is, that's a tough row to hoe. Those guys are responsible for keeping everybody safe and watching out for the morons. That they get pretty good at IDing them. I think when a lot of them walk in, it's not too hard to tell if it's their first day. But when I'm done shooting, I pack up my stuff, take it out to the pickup, and I walk back in, and I make it a point. Most of the time where I'm shooting now, there are two safety officers. I make it a point to walk up to them, shake their hand, and say, "Thank you very much for having my six, keeping me safe, keeping the wolves out of my back pocket," and all of that kind of stuff, and tell them that I appreciate what they're doing. And invariably they say, "You're the only guy who comes up and thanks us for what we do. Most guys come up and yell at us." I said, it's a small thing, and I do appreciate what those folks do, but it has become a point for me to feel bad if I forget and sneak out of there without doing that. And one time I got halfway, it's a kind of a long private drive up to the range. I stopped, turned around, came back and said, "I forgot to tell you guys thank you." So I don't know if my brain was telling me it'd be bad luck if I went out of there without saying thanks or not, but that's just something I do.
It's a thankless position for sure.
Yeah.
It is.
Unless Viejo shoots at your range.
I always make a lot of conversation with the range officers. Same thing, be friendly. And I also have their six. There's also a factor because they can't be watching everybody.
Yeah, I've been one for, I don't know, 30 years. You got an NRA class for them. You got local classes for them. I have to renew every once in a while too.
And I just, I see who's right around me, because the spot I have a chosen spot. There's only three points of rifle. Then there's the pistol section. So I don't have too many rifle guys because I usually have the third spot and the other guys take the first two. And I have the first spot of pistols, so I don't really have to go far. And the ranger officers always appreciate the fact that I'm looking out as well. They know me long enough now, and they know I'm on the ball, and they also know that I actually had found my ranger officer certificates from back in this, in the early '80s, mid '80s, till I couldn't do it anymore. But I found the certificate, and it's like, wow, look, it's real. I says, yeah, I told you, and so they appreciate me too because I'm keeping an eye in the area I'm at. Even helping the new shooters when they come in, and you can tell they're fumbling. They don't know what they're doing yet, and it's like try to inject and be friendly with them. And you want some pointers, help, whatever, just let me know. I'll be glad to help you. So it's good. It just takes a little load off of those other ranger officers that have their hands full sometimes.
I wonder if I could do this, and I wonder if I can get in trouble for this. I'm going to try. If y'all bear with me for just a second.
I'm gonna bid everybody a good night before you start that up. I'll watch for a few minutes and then get them to go to sleep.
Good night, Andy.
Night, Andy.
Good night, Andy. Good to have you here, buddy.
Night, Andy.
Sleep well.
Hey, Andy, I love your avatar on the screen right there.
Yeah.
The drag car like that. That is awesome, buddy.
I always forget to load it. I forget to load it half the time because I'm not actually logged into my account. On whatever with the StreamYard. So I always forget to load it when I come on. But that's my 79Z. That's you don't see much in the picture, but on my channel, dig back a little bit, you'll find a few videos of the car at the track and stuff. So, but it's a 79 original paint, except for the hood, which is a totally different hood. So even the stripes are original on that car. That's how well it was always taken care of by the previous owner. So anyway, everybody have a great night.
Thanks, Andy.
Good night, Andy.
Good night, Andy.
Night, Andy.
Appreciate
Chico
you,
is
man.
out there.
Yeah, Chico's been out there for a while now.
As I missed him when he came in then. My bad,
Let's
Chico.
check
Sorry.
this out. Let's do this and this. Another Wonder Nine? Something else to separate us from our hard-earned money, or is it something we need to look into?
It's always worth looking into, as long as you're not looking down the barrel into it. But you never know when somebody's going to come up with something good. So if any of that new stuff comes along, I'll check it out at least. But that one's not likely to make it to California anytime soon. But.
No, I'm with Walter on that one.
So is that just a pistol already assembled, bought or sold, sent? Or is this kind of like the PSA dagger where you mix and match parts?
I don't know. We'll find out in 5 days.
Okay.
I think if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yeah,
It's still
name's
it's
Hughes.
still a Glock, huh?
James Pugh's calling it another 9mm Glock clone, and it may be. I don't know. Scotsman, you know anything about it?
No, that's the first I've seen of it. You got an MSRP on it?
Oh, absolutely not. Not until the 10th.
I think it's
So,
funny.
like,
They're going to
the,
announce it on the fence, but we know about it.
What was it called, Jimmy?
It's from Bear Creek Arsenal. It's called the Grizzly.
Okay.
So as far as I know, like the Kiger from Anderson, that's not really a mix and match. That's just it's one model and you pick it up. And that's what I was asking: is this from Grizzly going to be from PSA going to be something you can mix and match slides and barrels and frames and such, or is it just a single straight model? But I guess we just don't know that yet.
Okay, so I'm getting Weisenheimer comments out there from Curtis and Chico Wise saying that those suggested videos are reveal a bit about my watch history. I would respectfully disagree because I got that's an email.
There you go.
I got the email from Bear Creek Arsenal, which I'm about to unsubscribe from them because I get at least 5 a day. Look, guys, if you send me 1 email a day and I don't buy a gun from you, sending 5 more is probably not going to make me change my mind.
Yep. Agreed. I hate that.
Yeah. And, I love Midway USA, but golly, man, how many emails do y'all? I know, Chico. It's just an email and I saw the video, and it's actually hosted on YouTube, but it's on their website as well. So there's that. I'm wondering if it's like James said,
Glock clone.
Glock clone thing. He said they also did a 1022 clone as well.
From what I can see, it's got a
I
different
saw
grip
Boom's
angle on
review
it.
on that.
All right. I couldn't hear either one of you. Scotsman, go say that again.
From what I can see, it's got a different grip angle on it, but then the slide looks like a Terran tactical slide almost, but it's not. But that's kind of what it looks like.
Okay, now Walter, what did you say?
Oh, I was just going to say that Boomstick had a review out on the 22 that I saw. Yeah, was that just today? Boom? Did you just? I think that was just today.
Yesterday or day
Yesterday.
before. Today was
Okay.
the brown.
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay, yeah. I just saw it today.
It's so much of a clone that it actually takes the Ruger magazines.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know why we need clones of the 1022, to tell you the truth. It's not an expensive firearm and in the first place, and it works pretty well all by its lonesome. You can get in there and dink with it all day long and do different stuff and add this, that, and the other parts. And why do we need a clone of that? I don't get that, but nonetheless, it's there.
So this is another thing I'm noticing, Colt, is if you go put something in your cart at almost any mail order place now, except Amazon. Before you know it, man, they're saying, "Hey, you left something in your cart. You need to come back and give us money." And yeah.
Most of the time, if you put stuff in your cart and leave it there for 4 or 5 days, they'll send you a discount code.
A lot of times, yep.
So if you're looking to buy something, chuck it in a cart and leave it there for a few days. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they'll send you a discount code for that.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him, Chico.
I did not know that, Tommy boy. Cool, you guys are awesome. I didn't know that. Because I get so ill when they start bombarding my email, I just start deleting.
I made the USA flag.
Uh-oh. We know who that is.
That's not a USA
Look
flag.
at my USA flag, guys.
Well, the colors. I don't know about the flag part.
That ain't,
It's
that's not
close.
an American flag, baby.
It's the right colors, though, Rigby.
Yep.
Just all out of order. Go fix it and bring it back.
Okay.
Sure got my attention.
Yeah, she's loud, ain't
Yeah, she's a good one.
I think she's a keeper, Jamie.
Yeah, that one's got a lot of spirit.
it ain't like I got any choice.
Oh, come on, Papa. What kind of comment was that? You know you love
Yeah,
that
come
little
on.
girl like the rest of us do.
Yeah, she's
Come on, Papa.
she's
Okay.
no, you did. Hold it to a low roar, baby.
You got some more color in it this
Now
time.
they're out of order.
Yeah.
Rigby, that's not an American flag, baby. That's like a French flag or something.
And we know where all their rifles are at.
On the ground.
Right.
Get out of here. I've been photo bombed.
Someone's had a bit of candy and sugar tonight, have they?
I don't know.
Little,
Bulldogs, I think that's the Russian flag.
Well, that's what happened.
I don't know, maybe.
Must have blinked. I got bumped.
Hey,
I'm in the
Bulldog.
second tier now.
You're on your computer now?
Nope. I'm just in the second row. I was second in line. Now I'm second tier.
What happened? Did you get
I didn't do
shuffled?
nothing. I was reading the side chat. I looked away. Boom.
Somebody drop out?
Well,
Well,
Mac
Andy
Man
dropped out.
Yeah, Andy dropped out and it moved you down, I guess. Weird.
Yeah, there's Gizzard Gary. Y'all don't forget
Hey,
he's
Gary.
on as soon as we cut loose here this evening.
Yep.
Everybody's favorite gizzard.
Lizard Larry.
Lizard Larry. There you go. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right, Marvin.
Jason
I don't know
Grant.
what happened. I was bad. I'm in the second tier now.
And not just that, I know something happened, CW, because your avatar's gone, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, no,
I see it on my
second tier.
side.
Yeah, you're just a white circle with a silhouette in it now.
No, I see my pretty lady over here.
Yeah, you,
We
Well-
don't
you,
see it
look,
here.
you got the best
You-
choice colors now.
Well, you can come on down to the third. It's a third tier, and keep me and Mark company.
That's the bargain basement down there.
I disagree with you, but I can't.
Good night, New Tex. I can pick you out a good one, buddy.
Good night, Hugh.
Right.
Good night, buddy.
Probably get a. What was that car that I saw there? The Edge? No, what was that one? It's only used once, only rolled once there. Probably a good deal on that one.
Ford makes an Edge, I think.
Yeah.
It sits at the edge of the road.
Nowadays,
Thank you, hillbilly.
like a true GM, man. When you go in to buy cars nowadays, you got to be careful. Make sure you're getting a gas motor, because
Or you gotta make sure it's got a motor in it.
not a bunch of batteries and motors. You need
I've got a really quick.
Well, y'all know the very first automobile was electric.
Sorry, Jamie. A story just popped into my head that I thought of a long time ago. I started laughing.
I'm teaching the Industrial Revolution this week in world history, and started talking about coal mining. I said, coal, the stuff that we use to charge up the electric cars. I got a couple of Snickers out there and loved it.
Yeah, a buddy of mine went onto a lot, and there was an old bump side Ford, and he said it was really pretty, really, really pretty. And he goes, it was sitting right, it was 2-wheel drive, short box, and he goes, man, that thing's really nice. Car dealer comes up to me and goes, oh, runs great. No motor, but it runs really great.
Lakeview, tell your wife we said happy birthday, buddy.
Yes, for sure. Good to see you, buddy. See you, Tony.
And yesterday was my wife's anniversary.
Oh, Ron Wayne's birthday yesterday, too.
Not her birthday, her anniversary. Her birthday's the day after Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I assume that's your anniversary, too. Huh?
Yeah, but you guys that are married or have been for a while, you know that it's the wife's anniversary and you get the bill,
That's like I tell everybody. I've been married.
Bits and pieces here and there. Mark Thomas, the Leatherman. Is there anything that you do in a particular way when you go to do a project for leather?
Well, I guess so. I've got certain tools that have to be laid out because I know I'm going to have my hand put right on them, and I probably spend way more time on certain things like cutting out and dressing up the edges that most people probably don't bother to do. But it's just one of those things that just, for me, it has to be done.
It makes a huge difference when you see those edges nicely finished and all the rest of it. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, since we're kind of on the subject, Mark, what do you use any kind of leather conditioner or any kind of leather buffing material to get your final finish on your holsters and stuff? Because that's really pretty the way that all comes out.
Yeah, the favorites are definitely mink oil, and got to rub that in, by hand. The warmth of your hand makes all the difference to kind of let it soak in. And sometimes I put the heat gun to it, just not right up close. And you need a little bit more than a hairdryer would put out, and you need a little bit less than a heat gun puts out on low. So I just hold it away and help it to kind of melt in there. So it's either mink oil or neat's foot oil. Those are the two favorites that I use. And I think I favor the mink oil the most because that's the one that just really smells good. And when you take something that's just been made and you really get that mink oil rubbed in, and you get it out of the box when you get it, and you go, oh yeah, that's the favorite.
That's that new car smell, ain't it?
Yeah.
You can rub a little hops on there too and make it smell good too.
Tommy boy, the thing that we use to make that holster hard and hold a form, it's called Resolene. It's it almost kind of looks like Elmer's glue, and you can mix it with water to dilute it down, and you just brush that on. It kind of soaks in. Make sure that you don't get any bubbles or discoloration on the surface, and just kind of let it dry, and it really holds the form.
Nice, Viejo.
Hey, Bubba, what's up, buddy?
Bubba.
Bubba,
You mind
oh,
if I
there
ask
he is.
you a leather
Hey,
question,
Bubba.
Mark?
Sure.
There's probably a lot of us that have, some older leather holsters sitting around or something, maybe for a pistol or something. And nowadays, we have the optics, the reflex dot on it and stuff. Is it a really chancy to try to trim top that leather out a little bit to fit a dot, even though it might just be a ½ inch or something like that?
I mean, there's a risk, but it can be done. I mean, that's really no different if I make one to put an optic in. It's the same holster pattern. I just put that little notch in it before I sew it up. So if you can get that trimmed out well enough, even if you can rough it out with like an X-Acto knife and then go back in with a Dremel, it would probably work.
Okay. I didn't know if it would kind of mess up an old holster or not if the person did that.
Yeah, I guess it could. The first model that I made to try to figure that out, how to figure the depth, I literally took one of the old prototype holsters that I had for something else, and I just cut it out, stuck it in to see what would fit, trimmed a little bit more, and then I just cut that thing open, laid it out flat, and drew it out as a pattern.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I did ruin one. I mean, I could stitch it back up if I wanted to, but I didn't bother.
Yeah. Jamie's thinking about putting a dot on his 586. I was kind of asking for him.
I kind of doubt that.
We all know that's happening, right? All right, now there it goes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Bama Dad.
That is crazy, ain't it? It's cheaper with less leather. It's the time, I know. So y'all ready for the verse of the week?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Where are you going to take us tonight, James?
Okay, so we finished chapter 5.
Right, we did Mark 5.
Matthew.
Or Matthew, yeah.
So, but the Sermon on the Mount continues through about halfway through chapter 7. So let's just go on into chapter 6. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been good so far. Good for me, anyway.
So we're continuing the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. And we'll do several verses here to grasp the context of the scripture. Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Otherwise, you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Therefore, when you do charitable deeds, do not sound a trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have the glory from men. Mm-hmm. Surely I say to you, they have their reward. But when you do charitable deed, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your charitable deed may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly. You know, CW did it again, CW.
That one I saw it. I think that was my computer, my service, my internet. It blipped. Everybody did a wheel.
Okay, so basically what we're looking at here is, again, a matter of the heart.
Absolutely.
There aren't good examples in ancient literature of people actually announcing their giving with the sound of a trumpet. But the idea there is there's like a funnel that that went into the collection box outside the synagogues. So you didn't even have to go into the synagogue to make a donation. And these guys would get a bunch of coins, and they would throw them in the funnel, and it was metal. So metal on metal made a lot of noise. And, you know, if they were throwing in pennies or they were throwing in Susan B. Anthony dollar coins, you know, it didn't matter. It's still making a lot of noise. But the idea here is if you are doing something good for somebody and you're doing something good for somebody, to get exactly, Bulldog, toot your own horn. That's not what God is interested in. Is it important to do the right thing, even if it is in the wrong way? Well, probably to the recipient of that good deed, it probably is not that important, but it's important for you. It's like it's all what in the Sermon on the Mount, what we see is Jesus is calling us continues to call us to that higher standard, and it's always about the condition of the heart. So it's more important that we give in secret and help somebody, and preferably so they don't even know where it came from. And that's the way that you get those rewards openly from your Father in heaven who sees in secret and rewards openly. Questions, comments?
Sure, I'll start.
Did that make any sense?
Absolutely.
Yes, it did.
And that's the thrust of those several verses. And, you know, to put it in a nutshell, like Senior Master Sergeant did, and he says, you know, don't toot your own horn. Doing good deeds is not something you do to be showing off to everybody else. Hey, look what a good guy I am. You know, everybody's going to know whether you're a good guy or not, whether you do good deeds or not. What you're doing is identifying somebody who is in need, and it could be the smallest need. It could be somebody who needs a smile, somebody who needs a hug, somebody who needs $1, somebody who needs something to drink on a hot day, anything like that. All you're doing is identifying that need and doing something about it. And as Jamie said, it's coming from in here. Anything else is just, you're doing it for show then, and that's not the teaching. That's not why we're being good Samaritans. That's not why we're trying to live good lives, you know. And the Lord's going to know. He knows what's in your heart, you know, of course. So if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're swimming upstream. If you think that that's going to get you in better stead, you know, with your faith, that's not the way. So think about, you know, helping folks out just for what it's doing for those folks. You know,
yeah, it's the right thing to do.
Is there something that I can do that's going to make this person's existence on the planet better? And it can be in the smallest possible way, but don't be doing it to promote yourself, because it's not going to work, you know, anywhere else but in your own mind. Everybody else is going to see it, and the good Lord for sure is going to know. So Get used to the idea of helping people for the sake of bettering them, not for the sake of bettering yourself. It's my take on it.
Well, what we're going to see as we
Yeah.
go through this chapter is um, Jesus is going to address how we give and how we pray and how we live life in His kingdom is what we're going to see as we go on. So, those things are given, and another thing that is given is fasting, and we don't do fasting like they used to back in the day. But so,
Yeah.
you want to say something about that verse, man?
What's that? Who did you call out, Jamie?
I was asking Hillbilly, did he want to say anything about it?
Oh, at first I was going to say hi to AOC out there, man. I noticed it was AOK, so I was just like, hey, want to say howdy anyhow. And little joke there. But yeah, I totally understand this verse, and I strongly believe in it. Where I kind of have a like, where do you draw the line when you're also trying to lead by example? With your children or other people might be watching you too. So, like, I wonder, like, when we give, me and my wife give, we definitely do it, as discreet as possible. But then again, I also want to show, growing up on, my kids growing up and now my grandchildren, I also want to lead by example with them, and saying, and certain things, so I don't know. Anybody have any words on that?
Well, yeah, actually, I can kind of expound on that a little bit, Hillbilly. Well, just like that auction that we did here a little while back. And typically, I don't do stuff like that. Just like what me and Viejo were involved in. It's out there, it's public, and we've got a running total out there. And it's hard to get away from that. And typically, I don't do auctions stuff like that. I just hand the money to somebody or to an organization or something, or send it, and just I don't even think about it. But in this case, where I got stuff to go along with it and everything, it kind of conflicts me a little bit, and even making a video on it. But I said I would do it, and I did it, and everything, and even in the other videos that I didn't disclose the amount that I give away or anything like that, it's just like I just won this on an auction, and it all went to a good cause and everything. So, I'd never done anything like that before, so I was kind of conflicted about that. But at the same time, just like what Hillbilly said, uh, I was just trying to lead a little bit by example by, I had a little extra sitting around, I spread the wealth a little bit and help, just Hillbilly's motto, put a smile on somebody's face and make somebody's day a little bit better, but at the same time, I was also conflicted because I'm not that kind of guy that just goes on to an auction and does that. So it was a little weird at the same time, but at the same time, it was just like I wasn't trying to brag or anything that I had done that. I did what needed to be done, with the auction pieces and everything, and I didn't try to take it anything past that. So
Exactly.
I won't disclose the amount or anything or what was given or anything like that. If you want to go see the videos. I'm not doing that. So I don't know. I was a little bit conflicted on that, Jamie. What do you think?
I think one of the best ways to teach your children and grandchildren about giving is to
Lead by example.
find somebody that's in need and go buy a sack of groceries and uh, take it to their house and let the kid carry it and put it on the doorstep. You tell them, take this and put it on the porch, ring the doorbell, and run back to the car as fast as you can before they see who did it. And
Right.
a guy told me that when I was, that's how his grandfather taught him about giving and tithing. Uh, y'all know I go to church, and y'all know, well, you probably figure that I give to the church, but I don't do it at the offering plate at my church. I give online, and
Yeah.
that's none of their business. And how much I give is between me and God. And let me tell you something. There's going to be times when you think, man, I could do this, that, and the other with that money, and it's going to be tempting not to give your tithes. But what I'm telling you is if you'll suck it up and give anyway, and even though it's maybe not with the best of intentions, the way we've been talking, God knows your heart and He'll work on your heart. And it's not going to be long till you're not missing that money. As a matter of fact, you're going to be wondering how was I surviving when I wasn't giving to the church? Because back then the washing machine was breaking every 2 weeks. The dryer went out. Car had always something wrong with the car. I'm telling you guys, God says the only thing I'm giving you permission to test me on is giving. Outgive me, says God. I dare you to outgive me.
Try to outgive the Lord with your heart. You won't be able to do it.
And if you'll do it in secret, man, you'll be surprised how long that 2005 Toyota Camry will run.
I want to go back and address something that Hillbilly was talking about. He says, where do you draw the line about keeping that train of thought secret as opposed to, sharing it and teaching your children? Well, in this just previous chapter, we're also told that you're the salt of the earth and you're like a lighthouse. You don't light a candle and then shove it under a bush where no one can see it. You be the light. You can set an example. And so I don't think we're in conflict here with these two chapters at all, about keeping everything, secret. It's part of our job to be the missionaries. It's part of our job to help spread the word, and we can do that by setting the example. And I think that's pretty well set before us also, as that's an okay. You don't have to be a follower in the closet all the time. You can come out and show your faith, and you can do for other folks, and you can be an example. And we're told that, and really in no uncertain terms, I think.
Well, I had something happen to me when I was pretty young. I was up in front of my grandparents. There's 3 or 4 of us neighborhood kids, out there playing. We had some little Matchbox cars. And anyway, this one kid, none of us had a bunch of money, or our family did or whatever. But this one feller, he, his family definitely didn't have much extra. And anyway, he had this really cool, I forget, car or truck or whatever, and we're like, man, that's awesome and everything. And my grandma just happened to be sitting out on the front porch swinging, and he wanted to give it to me. I'm like, no, I can't take that. That's yours, and everything. He's like, no, take it. I want you to have it. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. And my grandma said, Mike, come over here for a minute. And she called me over there, and she whispered in my ear. She said, you take that car. I'm like, okay. So I went back over and I was like, yeah, thanks, and gave him a hug and stuff. And Anyway, we got through, and everybody kind of started going home or whatever. And I went and asked her. I said, "Grandma, why'd you tell me to take that?" She said, "Because that meant a lot to him, and you get blessed through giving, and by you taking that car is going to bless that kid." And I never thought about it before then. I was fairly young, but then that's something that's always stuck with me.
Yeah, I've had that conversation before.
Mm.
This is the thing. You know that feeling you get when you help somebody? You know how blessed you feel because you were able to help somebody. When you refuse to take their blessing, you're robbing them of that same feeling that you get.
Yeah. Good point.
And that's not your job. That's not your
Mhm.
job.
Yeah, we've had that conversation, Jamie.
On this panel.
Yeah.
You never want to rob somebody of their blessing. So with that, we probably should start going through the room, and we're going to have to hurry, aren't we? See, that's what happens every night, every Friday night when we get to the verse of the week. We get carried away. Rigby's having a good time tonight. Can y'all hear that?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
All right, Hillbilly, I'm
Uh,
going to do you a solid, brother. I'm going to let you go first because I know you got to go help Gizzard Gary. And you don't have to leave. You can leave when you feel like the time is right. So you go first.
Well, thank you, buddy. And I don't know how much help I give Gary, but I show up anyhow. And so I just want to thank you guys so much for having me on here. It's always a great way to start out the weekend. Friday night with this show gives Gary, and then even after Gizzard's show, we got G Webs with his 2A weekly wrap up, and then just the weekend continues. I mean, it's so great. Thank you so much for having me. Awesome side chat. I have so much fun on here. I got some videos coming out, but I won't bore you with that. Basically, tomorrow night, Guns, Beer, and Therapy, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, and if you guys want to swing by, you're always welcome. Thank you very much, guys. Have a blessed weekend.
Thanks for being here, Hillbilly.
yep.
We
You too,
appreciate it.
Hill.
Good
You
night,
too.
man.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you.
Billy.
See you tomorrow.
I got a box.
Yeah, see you
Hillbilly.
tomorrow.
So, who wants to go next?
We can start down here.
All right, go, Mark.
All right. Well, I'll start off with, hey, thanks for having me. Been a wonderful evening. Always looking forward to this. Friday nights are a great time to be together, fellowship, and side chat's been moving along really well. As far as what do I have coming up, well, I got a new firearm that I got to get to the range, and I had originally loaded up some 45 Colt just to run through that Uberti, and now I'm going to have to just sort of split it. Take half, run through the Uberti, and take half and run through that new Blackhawk. Hopefully, we'll get some good weather, and maybe I'll get some chronograph data. But if nothing else, it'll just be a trip to the range because I haven't done that in too long. So that's pretty much it. Just thanks again. Let's pass her off on to Pat.
All right. Well, sorry I haven't had the camera on much tonight. I've had a lot of traffic down here in the bunkers, so a lot of stuff going back and forth, a lot of kids and everything. So, but anyway, I'll do a quick follow up on what we were talking about earlier. I think if you've got a internal struggle about giving and being seen and what feels right in your heart and everything, I think you're doing it right. Because if you think it's this way or you think it should be that way or you're questioning yourself, I think you're always asking the question. So you're not just putting it out there, not thinking about it. you're constantly questioning yourself, which I think is a good thing. Make sure that you're trying to do right by all that. So at least that's the way my brain works anyway. But anyway, thanks for having me on tonight, Jamie. I appreciate it. Scotsman, Hillbilly, Macman, Viejo, CW, and Mark Thomas, thank y'all for coming on tonight. And Gene and everybody else that had to leave tonight, man, I appreciate it. I love coming here on Friday nights. This is definitely my home for Friday nights. So, yeah, thanks for having me on again, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. MacMan, thank you for being here. What you got coming up this week?
Cool. Well, thank you so much, guys, for letting me jump on here. I haven't been on here for a while. I've missed it. A lot of work commitments, but I'm going to try and see if I can get finished earlier on a Friday so I can jump on the show. I love being on here with all you guys. It's really fun. So, so this weekend, again, I got to do some work. Can't turn it away. I just got to keep working. So, I'm going to try and get to the range if the weather holds off. Monday, I got my show coming up. I do my stream Monday night. If anybody wants to jump on there, that would be great. Really appreciate it. Thanks to the side chat. It's been bouncing tonight. A lot of good comments and messages, and just really appreciate being on, guys, with you guys. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here, brother. Walter.
Had to unhillbilly myself there for a second. But you guys know I look forward to this, all week long, and I don't know quite how to say this, but these guys down there were talking about the fellowship and the fraternity and the connection with all of us over here in the side chat, all you guys out there. It's worthwhile. It's a good thing for me to do. I appreciate all of the discussion about the casting, reloading, and shooting and all that kind of stuff. But that, to be honest, that's not the main reason that I show up here every Friday night. It's because of this togetherness. It's and we have really upped the game with what's Hot Pot got and the scripture verses. That in particular, I'm the kind of a person who can always use a little kick in the patoot to say, yes, straighten up and fly right. And here's something, here's some directions, here's an instruction manual on how you can get that done and make things go better. So I really enjoy coming in here on Friday, and it's always a good thing for me. Sometimes as the week goes by, I think, oh man, it's gonna be Friday night, and I'm gonna sit there right through dinner time again. And I said, no, get in there. What's the matter with you? What's important, your hamburger or the rest of this outfit? So anyway, here I am, and I appreciate the invitation as always. It's good to see everybody over there in the side chat. So coming up, I got stuff in the pipeline, so I'll shut up for now, and you guys have to wait and see.
Well, thanks for being here, Walter. And I'll just tell you, brother, I'd rather love you into heaven than scare you out of hell, but we'll do whatever it takes.
I could use it from both sides, I'm sure.
It also helps, Walter, that Jamie pays us for being here too.
Checks in the mail, fellas.
Well,
As soon as I get a check from YouTube, all of you will get an equal share.
There you go. Yeah, we'll talk about giving your 2 cents worth. Huh?
Yeah, we know we so for sure we're going to have some good 45 Colt videos from you and from Mark coming up pretty soon.
There's good stuff. There's going to be some 40 too.
Yeah, and 357 and everything with a good me plat.
Yes. Nice.
And some Hensley and Gibbs.
Just not 9mm, right?
No, I don't got no Hensley and Gibbs 9mm. I got some good stuff this week from Hensley and Gibbs.
Yeah, that's a good looking mold.
Yep.
That's a good looking mold.
Who's next? Scotsman, you next? CW, you want to be next?
It doesn't matter.
I can go next. It's fine. No, good to be here. Good to see everyone out there. Lots of good conversation for sure. Man, what have I got coming up? I'm gonna try to get something done for Sunday, which is gonna be a little different. Not something you've probably ever seen over here, but 6-shooter Texan got me into something. So Sunday you may see an air gun Sunday from me. So that'll happen. And I will get that posted. Remember, my internet sucks, so fingers crossed it all works out. All depends on the weather too. Our weather out here has been up and down, but we'll try and get something put together. Other than that, always good to be here. Good to see everyone out there. Obviously tomorrow, got gun spirit therapy, and then Sunday, foreign and domestic, we should be back on. So hope to see everyone on there. As always, appreciate being here, brother.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you more than you know.
Missed that the last couple of weeks for sure. I usually am reloading on Sunday night, and I like to listen to you guys on there. I don't always get on with you, but I'm almost always listening. And I was missed the past couple of weeks. I've had a good chat tonight. I saw over 60 people joining us there. That's very much appreciated. Always a great time with all you guys on the panel. Always good. Always good conversation and camaraderie. It's always appreciated and always much enjoyable close to the week. The side chat was going really good, and we saw a couple of new faces and a lot of old friends. It was really good. I got a bunch of videos coming up. I am into the end of April, so video a day is going to continue for the foreseeable future. I get that Banshee scope out on the range. I've got a couple of new rifles to show you guys. They're not new, and they're not even all mine, but their videos are made to share and to show. And I had some. It's not really a comedy video. Wasn't meant to be, but I know a lot of you will get some chuckles out of it because of the content. So hopefully that'll be enjoyable for you. But a couple of days or the next day, you'll see the culmination of that humorous video. So that's looking at coming up ahead. I got a couple of range videos, a couple of bench videos. I'm just looking through what I got coming up. A couple of bench chats and more range videos. And I got about four more in the works that I got to finish up, and I've got to get to the range on. I've got a couple of product reviews coming. I've had another company contact me, so I got some product to show and some videos on that. I hope you appreciate those. And that's really about it. I appreciate being on. Always a good time, Jamie.
My videos ain't supposed to be comedy either, but the people laugh at them.
All right. So they are comedy. I'm actually going to have to do an unboxing video, and it may take me 2 or 3 days. My intent's to get it out tomorrow. Already started it, but it's going to be like an hour long because you guys are way too good to the short, fat man from Georgia, I'm telling you. And I appreciate all the guys on the panel. I appreciate all the guys in the side chat. We hope the Lord blesses you all real good. And if He's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say goodnight, y'all.